sure I don't give me like a sign.
Give you a sign like this?
Stuff like that, yeah.
Okay.
This is Kevin Lyons.
Kevin Lyons.
Kevin
Hi.
Lyons.
This is Edi Gibson.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi. So nice to meet you. Welcome to our studio.
AKA Garage.
Garage. Oh, I want a beer.
As a female, do you find this creepy?
Well, I wouldn't know how to feel. I wouldn't know how I would feel as a male. So.
Well, I've had males come in here and tell me that this is a little dungeony. A little creepy.
They're just being haters.
There is a window. There's a couple of windows, so you should feel safe.
I know, but the windows are blocked out with posters. Those old 2000 posters that are like endurance. Do you remember those were like in offices?
I think that's way older than that, though. To be honest with you, I think that's been here like since the 50s.
I wonder if that guy knew that was gonna happen. Like, because there's a
up
guy
that
running up
mountain.
the hill in the picture. I'm like, did this guy know that this was gonna happen? And then 30 years later, people will be talking about it on a podcast.
This is a work in progress because I still need to get curtains for here. I have an air conditioner that you can see, but it's way too fucking loud when we record, so I can't have it on when we record. And I'm fucking hot in here. I don't know about you guys.
I'm not. I'm fine.
You're fine? Okay, good.
always
Plus I was drinking and my face gets all red and stuff, but
It is really red.
Is it really? Because
Yeah.
I'm really hot.
Your cheeks you look like a young Santa Claus. Very rosy red cheeks.
That's such a compliment.
Where's my toys?
You're everyone's hero. Ooh, sometimes at the corner of your eye you see demons or faces. I just saw one.
So
You're
I have.
like-
So
Are
this
you-
is
are
a
you-
creepy basement.
Are you sensitive?
I don't know.
You don't know, but you see demons sometimes?
No, I just get this in the corner of your eye, kind of like
But I'm in the corner
you
of your
look-
eye, so am
like-
I
no,
the
like
demon?
when you turn your head and you see
Like
you think
shadow
you see
people?
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's real because one time I had a piece of my hair out and from a ponytail, and then I turned and I could see the shadow of it, and I was like, every time I turn, there's definitely a demon. And then when I looked in the mirror, there was it was the shadow of my hair. So
I don't know about you guys. So I have lists of different goals. I write them down, and everything it's got its own goal. And so one of them is working on this podcast studio, and I'll write off all the things I need to do. And the bottom of my list was install a ceiling fan, get fans, put curtains on the windows so it's not fucking hot in here when summer comes. Those are on the bottom of the list because I'm it's when summer comes, but it's fucking here.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking hot already, and I've been procrastinating with all the other shit I have to do in here. Now I got to bump that to the top of the list.
it was
Pretty soon
only
I'm not gonna be able to record in here.
70 degrees today. Felt like 80, 90.
I think it was way hotter than that. I got my card.
Well,
today.
it was, but it
96.
was very windy today too. So
Was it?
It cooled it
wasn't
off.
out too much.
I was outside a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a little color too. You're a little red.
Oh, thank you.
I'm also red because I'm drinking, and it's not I've been drinking. I had one drink, and it's that.
So you're not even halfway through.
In a bad mom's Christmas cup.
Yeah.
You're drinking white wine out of a bad mom's Christmas
Steal those
cup.
from the movie theater when they give you.
Are your kids driving you crazy?
I have one of those.
Well, I haven't drank all week, and it's my first drink, so it's kind of hitting me. Not that I'm drunk, it's just I get like that. I get flushed out.
But that's the best when it hits you after one drink. Well, when you haven't been drinking for a while, it's you save so much.
It
you
is
save
the
so
best.
much money.
Yes.
All I need is one drink.
I love it. Okay, so just to fill you guys in and to fill in Edie, you don't know what I do. So every week I'll have I have this what do I call it?
Cleaning out the attic.
Cleaning out the attic. No, I know that I call it that. So I have this segment of the podcast I call Cleaning Out the Attic, and what it is just basically every week you give up something, for the whole week. And I've been fucking off the deep end, bro. All last week. So I had a lot of meat, I had a lot of beer and stuff, and that's the reason I do it, because I cannot just straight up give up meat forever.
Yeah,
and give up beer. And that's why I'm realistic with myself, because if I go without it for a long time, I want it, and I just go crazy for a week. That's why I do these week things.
I'm
gonna
this
create.
week, I'm not drinking beer, not having meat, not having bread.
Well, recently you inspired me to do the same thing.
Really?
But I'm gonna have my own segment called Kevin Gets His Shit Together. Instead of cleaning out the attic.
I like that segment.
I was like, are we gonna be doing the podcast in the attic next?
Yeah, no. Well, the thing is, that's funny because you thought it was attic, but it's addict. And for the first couple of weeks he was doing this,
yeah.
I thought he was saying
Cleaning
addict
out the
too.
attic?
And then you started adding a T to it. I'm like, did he change it to
No, cleaning out the attic. So you have to give up things that can be addictive.
Yeah.
And every week you have to give up something.
But only for that week.
Yeah. And you can repeat weeks.
Yeah.
Because, you run out of shit to give up. But that's one of the most things I need to give up is like beer.
Why do you do this?
Because okay.
I love it because it's such a great question too.
Okay.
Like it's just like, why give it up? You're gonna die anyway. Just
And you're gonna
enjoy
come
it.
back to it.
Yeah, but I come back to it for like a short term. Like I'm not gonna like I know I can never quit drinking. I know I can never stop eating meat. I'm never gonna become a vegetarian. But I know that like if I take little breaks from it, I like lose a lot of weight, and then like I reward myself with like a couple of days, and I'll be able to have beer. Like,
To
usually I'll
put
do it,
that
like,
weight back
Sunday.
on.
So you're just basically just binging and purging on things.
Pretty much, but it's just keeping my balance. Also, like when I lose weight, I usually hit like a wall. Like I do, like I can't get below this like number on the scale. So
What's the number?
180.
Okay.
I like hit that, and I can't get below it, and I want to go down to like.
Well, then maybe your
175.
bones don't just weigh that much.
Well, but you got to do something so that you normally wouldn't do that just shocks your body, and that's how you get through that wall. And like if I just stop eating meat for like 2 weeks, I fucking get there like no time.
That's true. That's like the same thing with like muscle confusion. Like say if you're working out but you do the same routines all the time, your body gets used to it so it doesn't grow. And so you have to like confuse your muscles by doing different types of
You
exercises.
gotta shock your body. But anyway, I just
Shock your
wanted to
body.
get rid of that, get that segment out of the way.
Okay, it's
cleaning
gone.
out the attic. So I'm currently coming off a beer binge, and like now I'm giving up beer.
It's so funny. As you say that, there's a wastebasket right next to you just filled with beer
Well,
bottles.
that was from last week, bro. Well, that was from other podcasts. We have Edi Gibson is our guest today. Hi, Edi.
Hey.
This is Kevin Lyons. You know him. He's the co-host.
Yeah, you just introduced us for like the 5th time.
I didn't introduce you yet.
Yes, you
I
did.
introduced the two of you
Yeah.
to each other because it's your first time meeting. I'm now introducing the podcast to you.
Oh, okay.
You fuck.
Hi, guys.
All right, great. So this is what I was talking about. After the music, we're about to get into that right now. There's no editing out.
Okay.
So anything you want to say that you want me to edit out, you say it right now. Got some shit you want to get off your chest?
No, I'm all in. No regrets.
There you go.
I like that. Okay, cool. This episode is brought to you by bullymake.com. Sorry, too early. Bullymake.com, you guys, is a to-your-door delivery service for your dog.
Do they have to sign for it?
You betcha. They just put their paw print. You guys, stop going to your local pet store. Stop going to your Petco's and those high-priced pet stores where you spend hundreds of dollars a month on your dog's food and toys that he's just going to destroy in minutes. Why do you keep doing that? Listen, bullymake.com is going to send you a box of 3 to 4 treats for your dog and 2 to 3 toys that he's guaranteed to not just destroy. And it's in a box, and it gets delivered to your door every month. And it's kind of awesome. I get it for my dog, and it's kind of cool to see how excited he gets when the delivery guy shows up, and like he actually knows what the box means now, and he gets all excited, and, like tries to open it, which like he's just squishing it. But it's pretty fun. It's a lot of fun. And if you have like a dog that has allergies like mine does, you can actually go in and you can select like what your dog's allergies are, and they'll send you treats based on his allergies. Because my dog breaks out in hives because he has certain things. So you can actually do that. You can go in there and say like, hey, my dog has a weak stomach, or like my dog sheds a lot of hair, and they'll make sure to send you treats that's like healthy and fits his needs. So it's bullymake.com, and you're going to use promo code HOME, HOME, as in Homeschooled Podcast, HOME, HOME, and you'll get $10 off your first order. You can sign up for 12 months, and it'll be the cheapest per box, or 6 months, which you're going to get a couple bucks off, or you can just do a trial and do 1 month and see if you like it, and use my promo code to get $30 off. But you can get that, $10 off. You can get that $10 off, whichever one you decide to go with, 12 months, 6 months, or just the 1 box. Also, this episode is brought to you by DMCWatch.com. If you guys are thinking about maybe you need like a new look, you want to get some style in your life, you want to dress to impress, check out DMC Watch. I have one. It's probably like one of the coolest watches ever, me personally, because I'm a fan of like 80s movies. I don't know if you guys are, and I'm a big fan of Back in the Future, so is Kevin.
Yep.
He's going to get his watch soon.
Are you telling me you built a watch?
Yeah.
Out of a DeLorean?
So DMC Watch, you guys, it's DeLorean Motor Company, and they make watches now. So it's really nice, and it's really neat to show people. On the back, it's like embroidered. It says official product of DeLorean Motor Company. It's got the little DeLorean on the back. I get compliments on it all the time. So for that one, there's no promo code. You're just going to follow the link in the description. At least go check it out, you guys. What do you guys think? You guys ready to start this podcast?
Oh,
We got
yeah.
Edi Gibson, Kevin
Edi.
Lyons in the
Woo!
house. It's Homeschool Podcast. Let's do this.
Let's do it.
Picked your favorite band.
This is my favorite.
Is it your
You
favorite band?
remembered.
Of course I do. What do you think you're dealing with? Some guy who picks bad
Why is this your favorite band? Why do you love them so much?
I don't. What? I feel some type of way right now.
Feel what?
Some type of way. Some type.
Some type of way.
No. I just didn't know this was gonna happen.
You surprised her with
I'm
her favorite
surprised.
song.
I'm feeling reflective.
Very reflective. There you go.
Do we have rights to play this?
You don't have to, because technically this is our recording of it.
Oh, what?
And we're talking over. They can't.
Yes. Yes.
Have you ever seen them live?
No, I was too young. This was like so long ago.
Are they still not together? What's that? Yeah.
Have you ever seen it live?
Have you ever seen them live? Yeah, because I got the headphones in.
Okay, I was like the whole song. Huh? No, because they were around when I was like in high school,
Yeah.
and my mom wouldn't have let me do something like that.
What year did you graduate high school?
No, 2007, 7.
There you go.
Yeah,
Nice.
07.
And she wouldn't. You were 7?
No, 07.
Oh, I thought you said you were 7 when you graduated high school. I was like, what?
Maybe.
No, 07. There you go. That's when I graduated college.
Okay. See,
Nice.
you would have been able to go because you were in college.
Yes.
But I was probably like 15. My mom wouldn't let me do that shit.
Yeah, so Edie and I drove to Vegas a couple weeks ago. And that's how I
Oh,
found out.
nice.
Was that a couple weeks ago?
I think so.
It
Yeah.
definitely was not last weekend.
Okay.
It was
It
a
was
week before
last
that.
Thursday.
Not this last Thursday, but the Thursday before that.
Oh, fuck.
Time fucking flies
Whew.
when you're not doing shows.
Whew.
When you're not on the road.
Whew.
Actually, time goes by really fucking slow when you're not on the road. When you're on the road, I feel like
Yeah,
time goes
'cause
by
you're
really
lonely.
Fast.
It's lonely because you don't know anyone.
Wait, on the road?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying on the road goes by fast.
Oh, for me it's the opposite. I hate being in a
Really?
hotel room by myself.
Really?
Yeah, I get lonely, and then it's like you're usually in places where people are vacationing and they're having fun.
And you're just by yourself.
Yeah, I like to go with if I have a friend with me though.
That's like the perfect situation to listen to My Chemical Romance.
Right.
And you're lonely.
Edi Gibson, comedian, local open micer, committed suicide in a hotel room.
That was an interesting
I was
gig.
like, you didn't even call me a real comedian.
Well, I mean, like, we were together. We're buddies. We had good talks on the way up, down there, and the way up, but and good time hanging out at the show. But like, we were just there for the day. It did go by quick. I mean, like,
Yeah.
we probably slept through most of it.
Yeah, no, it was crazy when we were coming back because I was like, oh my God, like, I was just coming here. But it felt like so long. Time had passed.
That actually felt like more days, but we were really only there one day.
Yeah, we were there for like a couple hours and then we left.
Yeah, we slept. We did the show. We drove home.
Were
I
there
remember,
any
like,
crazy, funny stories on the road over there?
Were there crazy, funny stories?
There was like some weird ass houses, like little trap houses that were very scary.
Trap houses?
Like scary. I don't know how to describe it.
Like
scary.
in the middle of nowhere houses?
Yeah, and with no other houses around them, they are like all broken, like no windows, and then there's graffiti all over them, and a lot of them.
What, do you guys go stop in at one of them if they were abandoned?
I would like to do something like that.
in the daytime.
Yeah. It was really intense. I was like, good thing we're not around here at night, because I thought we were driving back in the day, and then we were around them at night. And then
She
we
kept
couldn't.
saying, like, what goes on in there?
Yeah, I want to know, but like, also we're driving back, and it was night, and you couldn't see them anymore.
You couldn't see the houses because they're so far away.
No, they were dark, and there's no I'm getting scared.
There's no
There's
electricity.
there's no power
Yeah.
Yeah.
light things, street lamps.
And then we turn off the light.
Yeah, so it was a lot.
Because we want to see how scary it is.
Yeah, we wanted to be scared.
Would you ever go into a haunted house?
I think so.
You would?
You
At
have
night.
not been in one?
My house was haunted when I was growing up.
Really?
Yes.
Did you ever see any ghosts?
Yes,
Really?
I did.
Is that what makes you think it was haunted, or someone that lived there before you told you that?
No,
So
it was a
only
brand
you
new
think
house.
so.
It was a brand new house.
Yeah, it was built for us.
Okay.
Well, I'm not rich or anything. This was like in Sacramento.
Okay.
But it was built for us. So when I was growing up, I thought that it couldn't be haunted
Okay.
because my understanding of haunted places was that
They
are
have to be old and
something bad has to have happened there. Now that I'm an adult, I know that that's just absurd.
Uh-huh.
Like places can be haunted just because of the land.
Of course, it's 2018.
Yes.
Oh, shit. So, like, some shit happened on the land. They tore down the house.
Yeah.
Haven't you ever seen Poltergeist? They
No.
built the new houses on top of the old Indian burial ground, and that's where the Poltergeist came from.
Right. So there can be something tied to, or even objects.
Yeah,
Like
objects,
antiques. You buy antiques, you bring them in the house.
Uh-huh.
And they're even more pissed because
Demons.
now you built a house where their old house used to be.
Yeah.
Right.
Or
and then they're,
you
like,
just bought
confused.
their old coffee table on Craigslist, and now they're going to haunt your coffee table.
Yeah, I heard
It's
of
pretty
someone
much-
getting haunted by a trunk.
A trunk?
Yeah, a trunk. An old
s-
trunk.
Yeah, that's crazy.
that
Have
belonged
you ever
to-
heard about the, at the, I forget what museum it is, but they have a lot of the artifacts recovered from the Titanic?
Right. I've never. Oh, I thought you were talking about the haunted artifacts.
No. The actual, like, the Titanic. They brought stuff up from the
I
Titanic
saw
from
that
under
exhibit
down.
in Vegas. Is
And
that
everybody who works at that exhibit, they experience like ghostly encounters because they're all
Ooh.
trapped by their belongings that are now
That's
in
an
this
interesting
museum.
story.
Like they record voices, the EVPs. They can hear people talking and stuff like that. It's crazy.
Electric
So
voice
you-
personifications.
Yeah.
When you saw ghosts in your house.
Oh yeah, it wasn't in my house. It was in the backyard.
Oh, okay, that's
but on
good.
the same property
Right. Outside of the house.
because they were on the property before your house was.
Right.
what
It
did you
was
see?
really strange. Okay. So I often get the feeling that I had to run outside. Like I would get this feeling like something was wrong and I needed to run outside to be away from it. Into the front yard, not the backyard, the front yard. So later I learned that that's actually really common in people who experience things with ghosts
Mm-hmm.
close by, is that you feel like you need to run outside. Because I don't know why. But I've heard a lot of, I have a podcast about scary stories, and that's what a lot of people say.
Shut up, do you?
Yeah.
I would love to go on there and tell some scary stories. I have a bunch.
Okay,
keep going.
cool. We'll arrange it. So listen, this is what happened. So I get this feeling. I'm outside. I'm like, okay, this is crazy. Most of the time when I was waiting for my family to get home, after school, I was by myself. And it was really scary. So I would just like hang out in the front yard
Okay.
until my family got there. Anyway, so one day I'm up there in the second story and I'm looking out over the backyard. I'm getting that feeling that something is around, and I see someone run through the backyard. And they were
From the front yard? You saw that?
no, just
She was
across
like-
the backyard
Okay.
from like through the neighbor's yard,
Okay.
like coming through the fence and then going through.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
other
Oh,
fence.
wow.
Yeah, and it was I could tell it was a person, but the way that it was moving was like it was running, but it was very sloppily running,
Yeah.
kind of like it was a paper bag,
Okay.
like kind of like
Yeah, yeah.
stumbling
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
kind of being blown a little bit.
Uh-huh.
But it was a person, and then it looked like as if you had like you did a really good watercolor of them, and then it was still wet and you smudged
Smeared
it backwards.
Yeah.
So I could see it like when they were running, like fading off.
Shit,
That's
making me
great
feel
because
so
I also heard
creepy.
about ghosts, like the way that you see them is the way that they project themselves to you, and it's how they see themselves. So it may not be completely accurate to who they are, but if that's like what if they're feeling like a smudged oil painting, that's
Right.
How, that's
Or
how
they're
gonna
like
look, yeah.
feeling like they're scared running.
Yeah,
That's what
and
it seemed
and that's
like.
that's a lot where that feeling comes from too, is because you're feeling what they're feeling because they're projecting everything, so you catch on to their feelings.
Right. I was getting the sense that they were running away from something. Not like, oh, she saw me,
Yeah.
but like something's chasing me. And I wonder if it repeats.
Well, those are called residual hauntings, where it's
Right.
almost like a loop, and then there are intelligent ones that can actually see you and know that you're there. Like it would happen without you even being there, like that person running through the backyard. That would just happen even if nobody was there to watch it. That would be like a residual haunting. I'm
Right,
sorry,
I
I get
wonder.
super into this topic, so
I wonder which one it is because I didn't see it again, but I never looked for it.
it's probably a residual because did they interact with you or see you or anything?
No.
Then there's probably a residual. Usually the actual intelligent ones is like they'll see you, like they'll lock eyes with you, or they'll acknowledge that you're there in some way, or that you'll feel somebody looking at you and they're looking at you. Other things just happen without them even knowing that you're there.
Right. I think it was like that. But then listen, something else really fucked up happened.
Okay.
I was pretty old when this happened too. I was like 16, and I always very, very, very scared in this house. And I thought it was just because I was like a scared person. But when I grew up, I never felt that way again. Like when I moved into my new apartment when I was like 17, I never felt that way ever again. So it was the house.
Okay.
It wasn't just a count of being young.
Yeah.
So when I was like 16, I was laying up in bed and I was getting that feeling that something was happening again. And I was trying to convince myself, I was like, there's nothing going on. Everything's fine. And I had this beautiful porcelain doll my grandfather had given me that looked exactly like me when I was a kid. And I was looking, it was faced in front of me on the dresser. And I was looking forward and I was saying nothing was going to happen. Everything was fine. And it nodded its head yes at me.
What?
Yeah. I freaked out.
Did you ever take into the consideration that like how you see the shadow from your hair sometimes? That maybe it
No,
was your
this
eyes
was
playing tricks
like
on you?
for real.
Yeah.
Because it nodded its head like
Yeah.
like that. It wasn't like it was more than one nod. It wasn't like a trick of like looking somewhere and some maybe something out of the corner of your, like I was looking at it and it went on for a bit.
That's crazy.
So do you think like a ghost made it move? So to
I
give you
don't
a
know.
message?
This is getting to be a spooky podcast. I love it. I love
It is
spooky
pretty good.
podcasts.
I don't know why it did it. I assume it was trying to fuck with me. I don't know. Well, this is the scariest part. I threw it in this toy bin because I wasn't going to tell my parents because like
Everyone think you're crazy.
yeah. So I threw it in like one of those rubber toy bins and I put a bunch of blankets on top of it and then like I put like a bunch of hampers and stuff on top of that. And then when I moved away and I don't even know what happened to it. I don't remember ever throwing it away.
And it just disappeared
Walked away, man.
after that? Even you went back into that box and it was gone?
I never looked for it again.
Oh, okay.
So maybe my mom threw it away.
Maybe.
I don't know. But that creeps
that's
me
scary
out too
because
that I don't know where it is.
especially with inanimate objects. I mean, like ghosts don't usually move those like demons do. Like they're the ones that lock themselves into like inanimate objects, and they use those to get basically to make you scared and get them in.
Yeah.
So that was actually a pretty good move on your part. So cheers
to
to
get
you.
rid of it.
Here you go. Cheers to
Thank
you.
Damn.
Yeah.
Do you ever use that stuff in your comedy? Like try to do haunting stuff with stand up?
Yeah.
No.
Why
I'm
not?
not over
Funny.
it. I don't even know where to begin.
But you've made a podcast out of it.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just.
Well, the podcast is like
What's the name of the podcast?
True Scary Stories with Edie. And the podcast, people submit me stories and I read them. And
Okay.
then we talk about them a little bit. But we make fun of them too.
Well, you have to.
Yeah, we make fun of them. Well, no, because I listen to a lot of scary podcasts and a lot of people don't make fun of their viewers because they don't want to lose viewers.
Yeah.
Me, I just still do.
Because I've
wanna
that's
lose
interesting
viewers,
because I've
but I
actually
still do
been
it.
looking for good like haunted stuff because I'm writing a horror comedy right now and I love Halloween. I love haunted stories and I'm always looking for good scary podcasts to listen to.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna check out yours.
Okay, cool.
That's
Yeah, I
cool.
love to be scared.
I do
Yes,
too.
okay.
It's
I
fun.
love it.
It's
Yeah.
fun. It's fun to get creeped out a little bit.
It is.
It is really fun to be creeped out. I know, right? I get so like, I get creeped out really easily too. I'm lucky.
I'm lucky.
Yeah.
So obviously you're a believer in paranormal activity.
Yeah.
And ghosts.
Well, yeah. Ghosts, aliens.
Oh fuck yeah!
Aliens.
I'm
Oh,
all about the
of
aliens,
course.
man.
Kevin, have you seen a ghost?
Uh,
Or do you think that you have?
I've seen a shadow person.
What's the difference of a shadow person and a ghost?
Well, a ghost is somebody who, like, probably somebody who actually existed. The thing is, shadow people don't know what shadow people are. Ghosts, like, you can see the features of their face. You can see their body. Like, you can at least tie them back to some point in history of that location. Shadow people is exactly what it looks like. You saw somebody, and it's just a black mass that is in the shape of a person.
Like the demons from Ghost? the movie Ghost.
Yeah, basically like that. Imagine seeing a ghost. Like imagine if I was a ghost and you could see my face, but I look see-through. And then imagine that just completely blacked out, and it's just a black mass in the shape of a person. And I saw one of those because I actually do. I work with in the behavior field. I do a lot of in-home therapy with kids diagnosed with autism, and one of my clients' families was their place was haunted. And
they told you this?
It started off like I was put onto this case because all the other therapists who were female quit.
Get out of here.
And they wouldn't tell me why. And then because we usually don't, like, because we're always in the field, we never really bump into each other. And so I was working with this family for a while, and they were really cool. It was a really fun, awesome family. And then I ran into one of the former therapists at one of our conferences. And she was telling me, she's like, have you seen them yet? I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, the place is haunted. Like, she was telling me that she was in there.
It sounds so crazy when you're talking about.
Have you seen them yet?
Yeah, she's seen them yet. No, yeah, have you seen them
I've
yet?
ripped
She's
out
like,
all my
she's like,
hair.
I'm not gonna say that. Yeah, pretty much. Like they had to leave because they were so scared because like
I would too.
they had their name whispered right in their ear.
That's
right
happened
there.
to me too.
Yeah, but then like I was worried. I've been working there for a year and I never experienced anything. And the family never talked to me about anything.
Huh.
And then after that, like activities started picking up and the family started getting like really nervous, and to the point where like the mom wanted to start to talk to me about, because I have to know about what's going on in the home if I'm going to help out with your kid's behavior. If your kid is scared to go upstairs in the dark, like go upstairs into his room, like I have to know what's going on about everything. And so they were telling me about there's some paranormal activity happening, and they started telling me about the stories that have been happening lately. And the dad was getting upset that they were telling me because he was just like, they're going to replace him. He's not going to want to come back. And then finally I'm like, hey man, it's okay. I'm not going to get scared. I'm not going to leave. Just tell me what's going on. So he started telling me about these stories. And one of them was, there's a whole bunch, but I'll get to the main one, the one that was really creepy. And it's not even the one where I actually saw something. But, so this kid I work with, he was about like 7 years old, and, he was at home alone with his dad, and he hates being in the second floor when all the lights are off, and he won't go up there by himself. And so his dad has to go up there, and he turns on he walks with him, and he turns on all the lights in every room and in the hallway. And then he brought him into his bedroom, and he turned on the TV because the kid was going to play video games up there. And the TV is like high up on the wall where the kid can't reach it to turn it on.
Okay.
And so, the dad put on the video game, and the kids started playing. And so the kid, kids with video games, they get sucked into it. It was his new favorite video game, and he was going all out on it. And so the dad's like kind of backed out slowly, and he went outside because he was talking to his neighbor right outside the front door. And as soon as he got out there, he heard his son screaming, like just bloody murdered, like up there. And so he goes flying up there. Every single light in the upstairs, like in every room, every hallway, was all off, and the video game was off, and the TV was off, and he found his son underneath his bed, soiled in his own pants, saying, "He's coming through the walls again to get me. He's coming through the
Whoa.
walls again." And there's no way this kid could have turned off all those lights in that amount of time, and like because he couldn't even reach them. He was like a little kid.
And there's no way you can distract a kid from a video game.
No way you can distract the
You
kid
can
from
just
the
say
video
like,
game.
"Hey, he has an imagination. There's something coming through
Yeah.
the wall." But kids' imaginations turn off when they're playing video games.
There's
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's the point of video games.
And the time I saw something, I was there with my supervisor, and we're on the second.
Yeah. What did you see? Something?
We were on the second floor, and we're in the kid's bedroom because the kid like was doing homework with his mom, and so I was standing at the foot of his bed with my supervisor, and I was in direct line with their hallway, and I could look. And they saved a lot of money on electricity. Like they always had their lights off if they weren't in a room, and so in their hallway, those bathrooms that like it's like a half bathroom and the sink is in the hallway.
Yeah.
You know, one
Right.
of those. It's like
Yeah.
that, and there was a candle on the sink right there, illuminating the hallway for everybody. And so we were the only ones home. It was just me, my supervisor, and the kid's mom and the kid. And she was with her kid doing homework. We were watching her. And I could see, how you can see the candle flicker in
Yeah.
a dark hallway. All of a sudden, that flickering went completely out to the point where it grabbed both me and my supervisor's attention. And I looked down the hallway, and I noticed that the candle wasn't out. There was just a black shadow standing in front, like leaning out of the bathroom, standing in front of the candle, like some fucking Michael Myers shit right there. It was standing in front of the candle, and as soon as we saw this shape of a person, it was a shadow, and as soon as it saw us, it went right back into the bathroom and it illuminated the candle again. And I immediately went straight there. I went right down the hallway and I turned on the bathroom light and there was nobody in the bathroom.
Fuck, bro.
That was some crazy fucking
You all
shit.
ballsy going right.
That was the
for
first
it.
time I saw something. Every time else I was down there, I was talking like in the bottom on the main floor in the living room with the mom and the kid. And while the kid was playing video games down there, I was talking to the mom about the kid's behaviors. All of a sudden, his bedroom was directly above the room that we were in. And he had those big sliding closet doors. And they were heavy, and you could hear it just sliding open and sliding close. And then I was ignoring it, and the mom was like, I have to stop. You hear that, right? And I go, yeah, but we're not going to give it any attention. And she's like, okay. And we're talking. All of a sudden, it kept on doing it again. And at this point, it piqued my curiosity. I'm like, is it all right if I go upstairs and check it out? She goes, please do. And so and I could still hear it all the way. And while I was walking upstairs, I was walking up to the kid's bedroom. And as soon as I opened up the bedroom door, it stopped, but it was still mid-roll. Like it stopped because I was coming in. And it's still like mid-roll. It just like came to a slow stop. And then I opened up the closet door. There's nobody in there. And you take some muscle to pull it. I went over to the window. The window didn't have any draft coming out of it. The window was closed. And that was like one of the other times I saw something.
Fuck,
It was
bro. What's up with
crazy.
this kid's house?
It was crazy. Well,
Why don't they move?
it was in a bad part of town. And that apartment complex had been there since like the 60s too.
Oh, so it's
And actually the mom witnessed somebody get executed right outside there too. It's fucking crazy.
That shit's gnarly, bro.
Yeah, it's fucking
That's creeping
crazy.
me out.
Yeah.
Those are some good stories.
We got dark for a second.
Yeah, very scary. I've heard someone whisper my name too from the computer.
Oh, from a computer?
Like the computer was shut on the ground,
Yeah.
but I could tell it was coming from there.
It was Mark Zuckerberg.
It was like, no, it went 80.
Shut up.
And I could tell it was coming from the computer. I was really creeped out. And then one other time, I was laying on the couch and I heard my roommate come up and say Edie in my ear. And I like stood up and I expected her to be right there. I was like on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like in the other room, like laying in her bed.
So that was a doppelganger.
Ugh. That one, doppelgangers really creeped me out.
Those creep me out too when I hear stories. But you know what creeps me out the most? Have you ever
I'm
heard
like,
about
where do you want to be?
Have you ever heard about the black-eyed children?
No.
Oh my God! Like you look it up online afterwards. It's fucking crazy. It's reports like all over the country. There's like they're called black-eyed children, and usually they almost have the same rules as vampires. Like people will be in their house late at night and they'll hear like banging on their front door, and they'll go running downstairs and they'll open up the door and it'll be like two kids, like 1 8 and 1 10, and they'll be dressed in odd clothes, like almost old timey clothes, or just really odd. And they'll be looking down and they'll be like, can you please let us in? We need to call our mom. And it's always some type of excuse like that, and they're always very persistent to come inside the house. And then finally, when they look up, the same thing that happens, their eyes are completely blacked out. And but before that happens, they're always filled, like the person who's experiencing it is always filled with like intense dread, even like right before it happens. And there are so many stories about people that have experienced that, and it's all on the internet. You gotta check it out. Black-eyed children.
What
It's
do you
fucked
think they
up.
are?
I don't know. It's probably some type of demon or something.
What happens when they go inside the house?
No. There's nobody that's. Everybody has always locked the door and never let them in. I've only read one story about somebody who actually let them into the house, and because everybody else was like, "Fuck this! Look at this kid's eyes. I'm not gonna fucking deal with this kid." And this one time, this lady and her husband answered the door, and they asked if they could come in because they lived kind of deep in the woods, I guess, where usually sometimes people would break down and they'd be the only house they would see. And they've had people come up and ask if they could use a phone before. And so they saw the kids out there, and the dad answered the door, and the wife was like right behind him. And like before the doorbell even rang, she remembered feeling anxious and feeling dread. And she saw these kids, and they said, can we wait inside? Our parents are coming soon to get us, or something like that. And so after like talking back and forth, they finally decided to let the kids in. And they had a couple of cats in the house too, and apparently the cats are always like really friendly with everybody, but these cats like freaked out and they ran into other rooms. And so they the dad brought them into the living room, and she went into the kitchen to go get the kids some drinks. And right then the power had gone out, I guess. And the father started getting really, really bad headaches, and the kids went into the bathroom, And then a short time after, they came out and they said, our parents are here. And the kids walked out the front door, and there was a black car out front, and two like type of Men in Black characters were standing out there. And the kids get in the car, and they just stared at them, and then they just drove off. And then since then,
So nothing happened.
no, yeah, something. Oh, what did she
So
say
then
happened?
parents come.
wanna use the
All their shortly after, I think within a month, all their cats died.
Oh,
And
that's
fuck?
really bad.
yeah, it was really bad. And the father, the husband is like, I think he has constant migraines. Something happened. I don't know. It was fucking crazy.
I'm scared in the garage.
Scared in the
What if you
garage.
just looked over there and there were two eyes?
Two
looking
black
at you?
eyes,
Freak me the fuck out.
black-eyed
Black
children, man. It's
Oh.
fucking crazy shit.
Two
Black-eyed
black
children.
eyes. If it was
Crazy.
two black eyes, that'd be really freaky.
Yeah.
There were
Two black guys. There were two black guys at the door.
Two black guys.
I'd be scared too, actually. If you were like, I don't know these people, I'd be like,
To be
Yeah.
honest, anybody
No,
just
yeah.
for staring through the
Except
window,
for,
we
like,
didn't know
if
that.
Well,
Right.
especially through that little mail slot right
Yeah,
there
that's
in your
really
door.
creepy.
That would be so. Oh my god, I just got so
Uh-huh.
scared.
and maybe like over there.
Don't
it
point
said-
behind me right now, please. It's making me feel really weird.
It's okay.
That you
Just
pointed
don't
behind
give
me.
them permission to enter your house, and you'll be fine.
Oh yeah.
I mean, even if you do give them permission, you still be fine. Like, I got a headache, but then I took some Alka-Seltzer and I felt
And
better.
then all my cats died.
Ooh, but they were pretty old.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's freaked out. I think I saw a ghost once.
You think?
In my
You
house
you
growing
also
up.
thought we bought these chairs from the kid from Stranger Things.
That's true. That did happen. That did happen. That kid looked a lot like him, though. In my house growing up, my sisters always claimed that they saw ghosts in the hallway, like always, and it was always in the hallway, and I never saw it. So I always kind of wonder. I thought I saw something once when I was young, but I think that might have been more because like they were putting it in my heads
Mhm.
because they saw it all the time. But I who knows?
In your heads.
Yeah, like
Like in your
they're
dick and
putting it
your
in my
head.
but like I think maybe I don't know. I think maybe they were just trying to like get attention or something. They didn't want to go to sleep or something like that. But like I saw a ghost in my grandma's house one time, so I always knew that I had an uncle
Ooh.
that was like, dead before I was born.
Okay.
Oh, whoa.
And but like one time I was at my grandma's house and I was washing the dishes and she had like one of those windows that faced out into the backyard.
Yeah.
You know, above the sink. So I was washing dishes and like I saw a man standing out there in all white clothes and he was like
In
it
your
wasn't, like,
kitchen?
white like he's a ghost or wasn't like white like he was an angel.
Yeah. He was just
He
all.
was, no, he was standing out in the backyard. And
Okay.
I was washing dishes staring out into the backyard. So
Well, it sounds like my story.
I saw him looking at me, like he was just straight ahead looking at me, like just staring into the house. And I like got kind of creeped out for a second. I'm like, who's this guy just staring in the house? And I ran over to there was this light switch that turned the lights on to the backyard. I ran over really quick, like it meant a matter of 2 seconds. Like I turned the light on and looked back out the
Yeah.
window and it was gone.
Yeah.
And then like I told everybody, there's a guy just staring in the house right now. Like I just saw him. Everyone was like, who's staring in the house? Like my dad's like this tough guy. You know what I mean? He was like, he didn't think ghost. He thought like there's some creep staring in the house. And they all looked, and I'm like, he was wearing all white, and like I didn't know it at the time, but I found out later that my uncle was a painter, and he was wearing like a painter's smock.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's what it was. And
What?
then, dude, I just got goosebumps. I'm so
Goosebumps.
Damn it, I should have been recording that.
And then they showed me a picture of him, which like I was little. I was maybe I wasn't that little because I was washing dishes. Like maybe it was like 10 or 11. They showed me a picture of him as him. Like it was him from the time that he died.
Yeah.
Because he had like the same length of hair, even at that time. Like it was like the 70s hairstyle.
That's
So
crazy.
creepy.
Whoa.
I mean, I guess I shouldn't be scared because my uncle.
Yeah, but why is he just staring? Like ghosts have to know how creepy they are.
I don't know. He's on the outside looking in.
It's so weird. I've had thoughts about that because like, especially with like residual hauntings, it's almost like they don't even know. Like it could be a point in their life where like, because we always emit energy, we always have like, you know, positive, negative energy. You could be going through something that's so traumatic. At some point in time, like your energy will just be there and it will just reappear at some point, and it's not even a ghost. It's just
Like the person running.
yeah, it's just they were so filled up with fear or some type of intense emotion that it somehow like fucking time traveled in the same
Is
moment.
that like karma you can see?
Yeah, it's like weird. It's weird, man. It's scientifically proven that we emit like positive and negative energy is measurable. Like,
Sure,
it
I
happens.
believe that for sure.
And so I think that's what some hauntings are.
I mean, look at stand-up comedy. Obviously, like whatever energy you give off, definitely people feed off of it. Definitely goes out in the universe. If you're on stage and you're fucking moody, the audience is gonna feel it too.
Right, and
or
that's
if
like
the audience is not giving you their love and energy, you're gonna feel a little down, and vice versa.
it's like when you come out and they instantly don't like you,
Yes.
which happens.
And it usually happens if like the show's been really bad before you.
Yeah, that doesn't know.
They lost all faith. in
I've
the
had
show.
people like just decide as a group they didn't like me before, for sure.
It happens, but you just fuck those people.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there's that, but I don't think that's happened to me that often. To be honest with you.
It doesn't happen often, but it has happened before. I would say like 3 times.
Three
think it
times
might
you just
happen-
got on stage and they just didn't like
I
you.
could tell that it was just like they were never
Like before you spoke,
Mm-hmm.
that never happens to me. I think that it has to do with that you're pretty
Gorgeous.
and
You guys
gorgeous
can't tell.
and probably
Weird voice.
women probably instantly hate you when you walk out on stage.
yeah,
I think
I
guys
always-
probably go like, I can't look at her because my girlfriend's here.
Right. Well, this is the thing about me. I usually have the most fans or women at the end of it, though. Because they're like, you like us, you know? So, but at first, yeah, I think it is a little of a situation. But then I'm not like that, you know? I'm not like that. I'm a girl's girl.
There you go.
I like other girls. Not like, you know.
No, I'm not gonna say anything. Just keep going. Stop. Don't even. Now I have to look. Okay, fuck.
3
pointed
o'clock
behind
in the
me
morning,
again.
there's gonna be a knock on his door and there's gonna
Dude,
be
shut
black-eyed
up.
kids
You're gonna
outside.
do that right
Under
Fuck
the
me.
table.
I'm gonna have nightmares.
No, I'm just gonna do
Good thing
that
we're
at 3
doing another
o'clock this
podcast
morning
after
just to
this.
mess with you.
I really get scared over things like a head coming out of somewhere and like peeking
That
out.
does sound pretty scary.
Like a peeking head, but coming out of somewhere that's like not big enough to hold its body.
You know what's
Isn't
almost,
that so creepy? Like, what if a head just like kind of creeped like and looked around this?
or just
It's like, where's your body?
poked out of this
now. If it came
refrigerator?
from anywhere right now would be creepy.
Like, what if it was just like?
You
and
know
then
what?
you didn't know where.
You know
the
what's
rest was?
almost like, you know what I think is actually scarier than seeing an actual ghost? Is seeing one from the corner of your eye and turning back just to see a little bit of it as it goes away, like to the point where you know that it was something.
That's not
That's
scary to me.
that's scary.
I
Let's-
always
That's
think
scary
that
to me.
I'm seeing things.
What about this? What if you turn and you see it a little bit and you're like, no, and then when you turn again, you see it a little bit more and it's closer.
Oh, I've actually seen like short horror films like that. Well, and that type of stuff is kind of scary because it builds anticipation. Really, like if I turn back again, like it's gonna be like right in your face. Like that's
Oh
the
my
worst.
god! When I
Do
was
you do you tuck your feet like? Do you ever let
Yes.
your feet hang off the
Never, unless I'm with
I-
a guy.
I don't care anymore.
If I have a guy in the bed, I'll be like, these ghosts ain't coming for me.
These ghosts, these
Why, are you
demons.
afraid
Are
something's under the bed?
well,
and
it's
grab
not
you?
just like you just for the off chance that you could feel like imagine if a
touching you.
I
hand.
never think.
Imagine
of
if a
that.
hand
I
just
always
like.
do. I would never.
I
if
think
I'm
about that
single.
shit all the time.
I'm gonna think about it now, like when I go to bed
Well,
at night.
that's
you
like
guys are creeping
something
me
when
out.
your
Everybody
feet,
does.
if your feet hang off, next time your feet hang off your bed, I want you to imagine a little
Dude, I
ghost giving
sleep
you a little
hot.
tickle.
I'm always like feet hanging off the bed.
Have you
no
seen
blankets.
Gerald's Game by Stephen King?
I have not seen it, but I want
It's
to.
about,
Wait,
like,
didn't they just release that?
Yeah, it's like a woman is like handcuffed to a bed and her husband dies. They're like fucking, and then something comes in and starts licking her feet while she's asleep. A ghost.
That's fucked up.
I
That's something I would do
know
after I
it's so
die.
That's
scary.
so fucked up.
After I die, I would definitely come back. And,
I
like,
love scary
I would
shit.
definitely
though.
haunt my wife and like lick her feet and shit.
No, it was like a
Creep her
big ass tall thing.
out.
I used to be really scared when I was doing my makeup at like 6 in the morning before I went to school. And there would be a guy like looking at me doing my makeup, and he'd be so tall that he was hunched over, like with his back on the wall, and like standing over me, looking at me doing my makeup. Like a
Wh-
really tall person, skinny,
You would just think that while you were doing your like it's not like anything had happened. It's
like
just
a
like popped in
slender
your
man kind
a
of.
slender
just a-
man. That's kind of
You just have a
creepy.
fear of like tall, lanky guys.
I would
Fucking
just
Mike
like
Soteris scares the shit out of you.
no, like taller. This guy would have been like 10 feet.
Kind of like
He's-
that weird tall guy. You ever seen It Follows? Did you see that scary
No.
movie?
Oh,
Oh, you gotta check it out. It's so good.
Yeah, I've heard it's good.
It's really good.
listen. So when I was in Boston this last time, I actually stayed in a hotel in the middle of the woods, in not even in Worcester, like outside of Worcester. Okay, because it was like really cheap and it was like a really nice like country club type deal, but it's in the middle of the woods and it was off season, so there's nobody playing golf. You know, it was all snow.
Yeah.
And so I stayed there. It was kind of creepy, Kevin. I can't believe I didn't even tell you this yet because this was recent. This was this February. it was creepy because like we went to go check in and there was just the guy in the lobby, and then like no one else was in the whole entire fucking place but us. We're like the only guests.
That's creepy.
Because it was off season. And like we're staying on the same floor as the lobby. There was upstairs, there was downstairs, but we're like staying like 2 doors down. It was like fucking like Norman Bates shit. And then like I needed like a corkscrew because I had like a bottle of champagne or wine, whatever the fuck I had in my room. And I'm like, I need a fucking corkscrew. I went out. There's nobody there because the guy fucking clocks out and goes home. So you're basically there in the middle of the woods in a hotel, which is like an inn/club. It's weird. It's not even like a hotel. So I'm like, fuck, there's nobody here. The guy literally clocked out and went home. Like, it's just us here. I'm like walking around the hotel, like in charge. So I go downstairs where I saw him go earlier when I asked for something where I guess like the banquet hall is, and I guess there's a bar and there's like weddings and stuff down there. I go down there, it's just pitch black.
Oh, I hate pitch black.
Like pitch black. Nothing but one whole wall is a giant window that just faces out into the woods and the snow. And I'm like so creeped out, and I heard like people were walking, but there's nobody there with me, and I'm like looking for like a corkscrew and all the drawers. I'm like behind the bar.
Yeah.
It's that creepy. So anyway, I just went back upstairs. I couldn't find a corkscrew. I'm like, fuck that. Like, we're not having fucking wine, I guess.
Ooh, someone is out there.
Shut
I just saw somebody walk
Oh
by.
no, it's over
Okay,
there. It's
good.
up on top.
Dude, stop.
Did they have black eyes?
There's people that walk up there. All right, so listen. So anyway, it was like no big deal. Like, whatever. I went back to the room. Jen and I were like fucking watching TV and shit like that. We decided to go to bed. I'm sleeping like so good. She wakes me up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. She's like, babe. I'm like, what? She's like, there's a fucking guy outside. Like, she would never wake me up like that. It's not like this is something she typically does. She goes like, there's a fucking guy outside. There's a fucking guy outside the window. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is the real test of what you're going to do in this situation.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, no, there's not. And I went back to sleep because I was like so
Oh
tired.
my god.
But she was like, no, see, she woke me up again. She's like, there's a fucking guy staring at me through the window. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I got up like out of bed and I looked. And even though we're on the same floor as the lobby, we were still elevated.
Yeah.
So like out the window, there's no way that guy could be standing there.
That's creepy.
Looking in the window. There's no way. Unless he's on a fucking ladder.
What'd you do if you saw a ghost on stilts? Just like scurrying off into the woods.
Dude, I'm so creeped out right now. I want to fucking.
There's
stop talking about
someone
this.
who got murdered by somebody on stilts.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they got murdered
was
in the
on stilts, the
snow, and
murderer
then
or
they
the
couldn't
person who got
figure
killed?
out. It was like a big mystery because they couldn't figure out who killed him.
That sounds more like a riddle than an actual.
No, I watched a documentary about it. So he died in the snow, and there was no footprints leaving, but there were like holes, and they were. It was like this big thing where they're like aliens killed this guy, blah blah blah, and then they figured out a guy murdered him on stilts,
And then ran away.
and he was like a weird performer.
It's sad, but I kind of want to see how that murder went down just to see that. But you know what's fucked up? If you ever, the haunted place in like the fucking world is Gettysburg. Have you ever seen
you
video?
seen them?
No, the actual
Gettysburg.
Gettysburg, where the
Oh, the
during the Civil War-
Getty.
the
thinking
Getty, the Getty, the
No,
museum.
Gettysburg. It's
No,
a
yeah.
museum,
Have you
too.
seen like the ghost videos that people have captured there? It's
No.
fucking, and this is like in the 90s where it's not even digital
Have you seen the
cameras.
Disneyland
It's like
one?
VHS camcorders that people capture this shit on, where you can't fucking
I'm gonna
fake
go watch
that.
that. I don't know about
It's
tonight 'cause
fucking
we're gonna
crazy.
do that,
You
but
can
have
see-
seen
you
the
can
Disneyland
I've
see-
never
videos?
seen
You can
Disneyland.
see
You have not
soldiers
seen
walking
Disneyland
through.
videos? There's some like there that like at night when it's closed down, the security cameras pick up like ghosts walking around.
See, that's different because that's so easy to set up.
I guess
I'm talking about at Gettysburg. I'm talking about like families that are like, oh, here's our vacation, and they're kind of in the field. All of a sudden, one of them like turned their camera, and there was a whole like battalion of soldiers
Honest to
like
God, you
marching
guys,
out of the woods, and like they pan, and then they went back to it,
Listen,
and they were
In
gone.
all seriousness, I'm getting bad anxiety. We have to stop talking about this.
Okay, well,
I'm not
we're
like
getting
Edie.
close.
I don't
I
like
love it,
feeling.
man. This is my shit. I fucking
like
love
feeling.
talking about
We
this
should
stuff.
do a whole other episode based on it. We just
Closer
did
to
one, so
Halloween.
I honestly didn't plan on talking about this.
I
when
I
Edie
could
came
listen
on.
to scary stories like all fucking day.
You know what's funny? Like the one thing we didn't talk about that I wanted to talk about with Edie.
Hurry up, we got 5 minutes.
Because the podcast is called Homeschool, and Edie's literally the only person other than me that I've never met that's been homeschooled.
Oh, you've been
Oh,
homeschooled?
yeah.
And we didn't even go. Into
Holy
I forgot we were
shit.
going to talk about that.
That's
didn't even go
awesome.
into
What?
that.
So was it your entire school
can talk about
experience?
it
Because you
next
said
time.
you were talking about putting on your makeup before school.
And I went to regular high school.
You went to
that. Yeah,
but
she wasn't
what?
always homeschooled.
Okay, so your younger years you were
Yeah.
homeschooled and then you went.
So you were
Why
in
the
middle
change?
school.
Why the change?
Wait. She was home haunted school.
Home haunted school.
Haunted homeschool.
Homeschooled in a haunted house.
After middle school, I went to regular high school.
Uh,
Freshman year. But we can talk about it next time.
Yeah.
I'll come back.
Yeah.
We'll do it again.
We should have you back. Just a quick question, though, just out of curiosity. Was everything done on computers with you when you were homeschooled?
It wasn't at first when I was young. My mom just taught us, and then when I got into middle school, we did have the computer program.
Where'd your mom get the materials from?
She just like bought books and like taught us how to read and stuff.
That
like
was it?
Yeah, I was really far behind. I was actually in special ed in high school because I was so far behind. So it took me a long time to catch up.
I was super far behind too for a long time, but I was always homeschooled.
I'm still far behind.
Yeah, I mean, who's to say that anybody's ahead?
I wasn't good at school because I was so used to learning one-on-one. So
Yeah.
I had a really hard time with school.
I
That
was
is
really bad at
difficult.
school, too. Fuck, man. I can't. I'm trying to like break away from like this creepy feeling.
Now
that
you're
I
just
have
getting
right
creeped
now.
out.
And
You
you guys
got
keep
scared.
looking behind me.
3
like there's
o'clock.
something
What would you do if you got a knock on your door?
there. This garage door?
No. When you're just hanging out,
wouldn't answer
you're
the
watching
garage door.
movies with Jen and Carmine, and a knock on the door happens, and then you see Carmine just run into the bedroom whimpering scared, and then you open up the door and it's 2 kids, and they won't make eye contact with you, and they're asking if they could come in because they need to call their
That's fucking
parents.
creepy. First of all, I would never open the
Say
door.
call the neighbors because this is like a big building.
I would never fucking open the door.
Would you just say who is it?
You
At
wouldn't
least
even get that far.
I wouldn't get that far.
you wouldn't even say who is it.
I have like a fucking. First of all, my apartment building is old, so it's not like I even have a peephole. I have like one of those old doors that has like a little mini window in the door I can open up and I can see who's
No
Oh,
one's
that would be
there.
even cool. I would totally open that up.
Yeah,
I would
that's what
open that
do.
up. You would open up that. And
Yeah,
look through
if I
it.
saw there was 2 kids out there, I would not open the door.
And what if you saw and they had like jet black eyes?
But they know you saw them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not opening the door.
Oh my god, I actually
Stop.
think it's
Please stop doing that.
I saw there was a moth that
Yeah, there
flew
was a
by the
Please
moth.
window.
stop doing that.
The moth had black eyes. Did you see the black-eyed moth, you guys?
I got
First of all, I
scared.
wouldn't open the door to 2 kids because I probably think they're selling something or they want money for school. So I wouldn't open the door.
Which is
anyway.
actually worse than black-eyed demon children coming in.
Why do the demon children and demon shit only go to houses that are in like the woods? This shit doesn't happen in the city.
No, apartments are haunted all the time.
Yep. The apartment out the haunting.
I'm not saying
that
that
I was
they're
telling you
not, but
about?
like that. But like people knocking on the door and shit like that. It's all what I'm waiting for. Like this story to happen, or at least this movie to happen. Maybe I shouldn't even say it. Maybe I should edit this part out because we can write the movie, Kevin. I'm waiting for like a fucking Airbnb story. Because people Airbnb all the time now in like the woods, Big Bear, and they just get their little cabin, waiting for some creepy shit to fucking happen.
This
man.
isn't an Airbnb story, but I just saw a trailer for a pretty fucking rad concept for a movie. There's like these 2 valet guys, and it looks like they're trying to find somebody to rob. And so like this guy in this expensive car comes up, and he gives them the keys, and he goes, I'll be back. And so they decide to take his keys and hit home on his GPS and just go into his house and rob it. So they took the keys to his car, and they went to the guy's house. And when they went in there was a girl tied up, bloody and beaten, about to get murdered. And they're just like, oh fuck. And then the guy ended up coming right back because he realized that they stole his car. But that's all I saw, and I'm like, that's fucking
Did you
crazy
see
as
Quiet
shit.
Things yet?
That's really
A Quiet Place?
Quiet Place.
I saw it.
No, I didn't.
I saw it.
Would you want to see it, Edie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry that we didn't get to talk too much about homeschool, but
We'll do it next time.
I'm glad that we did talk about this because we never talked about this on the podcast, and
I
it
know.
was kind of cool, even though I'm creeped out. And it is cool because you guys got to know that Edie has a podcast
Yeah,
about scary stories.
I can't wait to check it out, honestly.
True scary stories.
True Scary Stories
by
with Edie.
With
'Cause-
Edie. If you have
sorry, with Edie.
if you have a true scary story of something that's happened to you, I also have a Facebook group called True Scary Stories with Edie, and you can go get in touch with me there to send me your stories, so I'll read them on the podcast.
Think that most people are writing them themselves and sending them to you, or telling you their true story, something that really happened. to
Yeah,
them?
it's like all of it been very personal. But then I have like every once in a while someone will be like, this happened to my dad.
But what about people that just like writing scary stories? Have
See,
they-
that's what
don't know.
I've heard, because I've listened to
I don't fact
podcasts where you send in your story and then
Someone
they read
just
it.
sent me one right now.
And then I seen the podcast where you call and you leave them a voicemail, and then they play your voicemail of your scary story that you did. So a lot of them you can tell just from people talking.
I think that's a great concept. Like, look, you're like right now. You just got this person sending.
Yeah,
it in.
maybe someone heard me on this podcast.
Well, it's not live yet, but
It's not live.
I think that people, when they do hear this, I think everyone has a story that's either about ghosts
Yeah.
or something scary. It probably personally happened to them rather than them writing it, and they're probably gonna want to send it in. So let me do some shout outs really quick. These are some Instagram peeps. I want to give a shout out to the Nostalgic Grim, Edgar Rivera,
Hey, buddy.
Faces Show Crowd,
Faces Show Crowd. Thanks, pal.
Cesar Lopez,
Caesar.
Teresa Michelle Lee, Sarah J. Halstead.
Thanks, Sarah.
I want to give a shout out to a comic friend, Sylvia Sage.
Sylvia.
Alpha Films, Yada 83, always been a good supporter.
I'm sorry, but your slow clap in here, it sounds like somebody's jerking off in the corner.
Oh, it does. I'm clapping and jerking off.
Yeah, no, it's funny.
It's kids with black eyes jerking off. A new concept. I want to give a shout out to Lottie Da, or in other words, my buddy Matt Lotman. I want to give a shout out to...
hey, into the microphone, pal, so they can hear you.
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
I want to give a shout out to, on Instagram, it's Mario Vitello. Which
Mario!
In other words, that's my cousin Mario.
Okay.
I want to give it congratulations on the new job, and you went out there and you killed that interview. Sorry it's a little late. I write down my shout outs kind of a couple weeks in advance. I want to give a shout out to Art D, Worldwide Wheeze.
Worldwide Wheeze.
My
These
buddy
names are
Harry
so
Smith.
What up, Harry?
Smith? Joel Stephen Ross, it's been a long time. Hope you're doing good, bro. I enjoy the artwork that you always post. And I want to give a shout out to... sorry, I'm trying to read this. Oh, this is the wife of my buddy, and actually they come out to shows and support and stuff. I hope I'm not messing up the Instagram handle. It's Primas Verde.
Prima Verde.
So thank you guys.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for everything, and thank you, Edie, for coming on.
For sure.
What shows you got coming up?
I'm gonna be in San Diego this weekend at the Madhouse Comedy Club.
Nice. This weekend.
Yeah, I'm leaving Friday, Saturday.
Friday and Saturday, the
27th, 28th.
27th and 28th. And on for upcoming shows on your Twitter or your Instagram.
I'm at Edi Gibson Comedy, so it's E as in Edie, D as in Edie, I as in Edie, Gibson as in
Mel?
the racist, yeah, and then comedy.
I was going to say the guitar, but you just go right to racism.
Comedy
All right.
as in what I do.
There
Edi
you go.
Gibson Comedy. Everything. Twitter, whatever you want. And then True Scary Stories with Edie. Check it
True
out.
Scary Stories. With
I'm
Make
actually
sure
going to
you guys
listen to
check
those later.
out that podcast.
Don't listen to the first episode.
Why?
How many episodes do
The
you
pilot episodes are of every podcast are always such trash, I feel like.
Why don't you take it off?
It's got so many views.
have? How many episodes do you have?
11 or 12.
Oh, okay. So this is fairly new podcast?
Mm-hmm. Started in February.
That's awesome.
It's
I'm
good.
going to give it a listen.
Yes!
Got a new listener. Kevin
wait.
loves this shit.
I
You're talking
love
to the
it.
right guy right here.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
Well, we'll have you on.
That'd be great.
All right, cool. Thank you, Edie. Thanks for coming on.
Oh, for sure.
Thanks, Edie.
Sorry. I didn't even have my exit music queued up. You thought I forgot about you.
No, I didn't.
Dude, don't even right now, man. I'm going to have a hard time. Listen, we're taping another podcast afterwards. I normally don't do two podcasts one night.
We're going to have to talk about something. It's like what, after you see a scary movie, you need to watch a Disney movie or something.
I'm so glad that I'm doing another podcast, because if I went upstairs right now and like called it a night, I would be fucking...
You don't
I'm
like
having
that feeling?
dreams.
I love it.
I like it, but if I'm alone, I don't like it. But if I'm with other people, it's fine.
I love it all. By myself. That's the funnest is when... Because nobody can scare you better than you can scare yourself.
Turn it back on! Turn
on the lights.
Remember we called Eric?
Yes, you
Okay.
called Eric. I'm mad at him.
So, you're still mad at him?
I'm easy to upset. There's already been like 3 people in this conversation.
So there's this
I'm mad at.
comic, Eric Myers. He's going to come on the podcast soon, but he's out of town right now. Dude, he's so fucking funny, and he kind of talks like that.
So
You know
funny.
what I
Yeah.
mean? He's so fucking funny. He's such a funny guy. But anyway, he really likes being scared, and he really loves scary movies and shit.
Yeah.
And I did this road gig with him, and I was talking about it because we were driving back from Vegas, and we were passing by the dark houses that she was talking about, you know? And I was telling her the story that when I came back from Bakersfield in the middle of nowhere, down this dark road, that Eric kept having me turn my lights off because he liked to feel scared for like a second. And so he like, turn your lights off, and I turn them off.
And then you turn it back on, and there's a ghost right in front of the car.
No, dude, we're driving for a couple seconds, and he's like, oh my God, dude, turn it back on, turn it back on. And I turn it back on. He was like, that was so scary. And I'm like, I know. And he's
I
like,
was so creeped out.
He'll go, do it again. It's the best.
He's
All right.
so childlike.
Thank you guys
cool.
for listening. See you next time.
Bye. Okay.
Fuck it.
Then if you wanted honesty, that's all you have to say. I don't know where I put it. I do, but I love things that are true.